Rich here with Magic Touch Mechanical in Phoenix, Arizona. Been servicing air conditioners and heating systems in the Valley for 28 years, since 1997. And I thought I would do a review on one of my own systems. This is the GREE Mini Split, and it serves my garage. Typically, when we do a product review, we're reviewing something new to the market. When I'm buying a product, I like to see what do people have to say after they've been using it for a little while. What are the pros, cons, what are the known issues, that kind of thing. I thought we'd talk about the good, bad, and ugly of a GREE Mini Split heat pump. The GREE Mini Split has an inverter compressor, which is a variable speed compressor. One of the first things we should talk about is the sound level. I had it off for a while because I knew I was going to do this review. So I wanted you to hear what it sounds like when it's running at its highest speed. Let's get a little closer to the fan and the compressor and let you have a listen to what it sounds like. I would say it's comparable to a quiet microwave. There's just a very low hum, very low air noise. Like most inverter mini splits, it's a very quiet unit. I'm going to show you the size of this. Let me take a step back. I have a couple of full-size Lennox condensers here. So you can see right over here is a 4-ton sitting next to it. So there's a 4-ton condenser sitting next to a 2-ton GREE Mini Split. It is about the size of a large suitcase. In fact, they used to refer to these as suitcase models. You can see we have a little bit of separation here. That clearance is required to get good airflow through. I've actually gone a little bit wider than the required clearance on this unit. You can see this is about 12 inches and it's sitting on the pad 2.5 feet tall. So there's our refrigerant lines running behind it. Typically it would run up alongside the wall, underneath the eaves. I chose to run these inside because it's my garage. I live in an HOA. I did not even tell my HOA I was putting it in. So everything is hidden here, including the electrical. Let's go take a peek inside and then we'll talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the GREE. This is what's known as a high wall or a wall-mounted air handler. This is a 2-ton air handler. You can see compared to a standard 36-inch door, the length and the height is a little over 12 inches. It's about 12 inches deep. We have our refrigerant lines in Hide-A-Line. You see I have an extensive amount of BMX bikes. I've been riding BMX for many years, so sorry about them in the way, but we're here to talk about the GREE, not about BMXs. So we have our refrigerant lines in there. We also have our power feeding from our condensing unit back to our air handler. And then you'll also see we have this vertical line going down. That is our drain line. Typically your refrigerant lines and your condensate drain line would be in Hide-A-Line. It would run through the back of the wall and go down the exterior of the house. So everything's tucked nicely into a Hide-A-Line. Since I put everything indoors instead of outside, that is why we show the lines separate here. So this is the noise from the inside. I'm gonna let you get a better listen to it. I'm a couple feet from it. That is on its highest fan setting. While I'm standing here, I just wanted to show you that it does have a feature where you can display the temperature and the setting right on the unit, or if this were inside a bedroom or a living room, you probably wouldn't want to look at that, so you could just easily shut it off. Okay, so you got to look and listen to the GREE, see the size of it. Let's go into the good, bad, and ugly, and then I'll tell you about this brand, how they compare to other brands, what are some other brands you might want to consider if you're looking for a mini split. There are several that I recommend, several that I say stay away from. First off, this particular model is the GREE Livo. GREE makes the Livo, the Vario, the Envo, and the Sapphire. The one we're talking about today is the Livo. I'll tell you what makes the difference in a moment. Let's just jump right into the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the good, which just wrapping up its second summer here in Phoenix, I've had no issues with it. You got to hear how quiet it was. It cools my large garage very quickly. That's a 4-car garage with 12-foot ceilings. I do have insulated garage doors. I do have an insulated attic above it. So it does a really good job of cooling down that much area very quickly. Dehumidification is awesome in this thing. Normally, we don't really have to think much about humidity here in Phoenix. We have this joke about it's a dry heat, blah, blah, blah. So is my oven. I don't climb into it. But typically, we don't have very high humidity here. During monsoon, we get massive dust storms and rainstorms, and we just recently had a real big one. Matter of fact, if you've never seen one before, go check out my video. I got a really cool shot from a rooftop of one coming in, and it's really something to see. But I digress. When we had this big storm, I had quite a bit of water come in under the garage door. That's how hard the rain was hitting. And I had a rug sitting in the middle of it, and that thing got soaked. The next day when I went in the garage and it was humid in there, I had the air conditioner off and it stunk. You guys know the smell, right? So I took the rug out of there, put this thing in dehumidification mode, and man, it did an excellent job. It pulled the humidity out of that garage so quick, it would make your head spin. So I would say that goes on my good list too. It's quiet. It works really well. It's got great dehumidification. What is the bad of the GREE Livo? Really the only thing I could complain about, it is the least efficient of the 4 models that they sell. I can't really complain about it. I chose that one, but their least efficient model is 19 SEER. If you're familiar with SEER rating, you know that it's the equivalent to miles per gallon. And a 19 SEER is 35 miles to the gallon. So there's nothing inefficient about it. It's more efficient than most people's home air conditioners, 75% of people's home air conditioners. But in comparison to its 3 other sister models, so we got the Vario, the Envo, and the Sapphire. The 2 middle ones are 26 SEER, and the Sapphire is 30 SEER. So you could get a much more efficient unit from GREE. I chose the Livo because it's cooling my garage. I'm not running it all the time. 19 SEER is plenty efficient, but I have to find something bad to say about it, so that's what I'll say is bad about it. As far as ugly, I really have nothing. It's only been running for 2 years, but I've installed lots and lots of GREE units, hundreds of them for customers here around Phoenix. And we don't have any big problems with their mini splits. I will say I did write an article about the GREE Flex, which is a ducted system. And that one has not been without issue, but it also hasn't been terrible. I'm not recommending it to people because of the issues. If you landed on this video because you're looking at the GREE Flex, you probably should go over to our website. It's fireandairaz.com. and read that article before buying the GREE Flex. All right, so let's talk about who is GREE in the first place now. If you're kicking around buying one of these, and I'm assuming you're watching this video because you're looking at mini splits, this part will be helpful to you because I'll tell you about who GREE is as well as some of the other brands we own and sell and what you should maybe think about, and what brands you should consider and what brands you shouldn't consider. So first off, GREE's motto is 1 in 3 is GREE. What they mean by that is they make 1/3 of all the mini splits being manufactured in the world today. In fact, if you've owned a mini split before and it was branded Trane, Lennox, American Standard, Carrier, there's about a 50% chance that you owned a GREE already because none of those brands made their own mini splits. They all private labeled them from either GREE or Midea for the most part. Those are the 2 big names as far as who's producing the most. It's GREE and Midea. Brands that we like and other ones to consider when it comes to mini split air conditioners. I do like, obviously, GREE, Mitsubishi, Fujitsu, Air Temp, and Bosch. Now, I also own Mitsubishi multi-zone system as well as a Train, which is a Medea single zone. Not only in our Magic Touch offices that are cooled by mini splits, but also we own a business called The Fireplace, which is a fireplace showroom in Mesa, Arizona. And it's open to the public. So obviously there I went with much more efficient units, and I went with the Mitsubishi solid unit. It's been installed for years. It's a multi-zone system, so it does a lot of different areas, including some very large areas. We've installed hundreds and hundreds of Mitsubishis. You can't go wrong. Brands that I probably would say to avoid, I would say avoid basically any of these no-name brands, anything that you're buying on Amazon. Don't get me wrong. I know this video is being watched by many people outside of my market. Most people aren't in my market, so it's not because they're selling them online. It's because anything that comes with these pre-charged line sets or these big box store no-name brands, these companies come and go. You can't get parts for them. They don't last very long. They're not durable. So I would say stick with a brand name that's known for mini splits, that you're going to find contractors that work on them. You're going to find contractors that can get you the parts for them, and you're not going to have any issues there. What does it cost to install a mini split? Typically a garage mini split like mine, including the unit, a complete electrical circuit from the circuit breaker to the equipment, the hide-a-line cover, the warranty, all the bells and whistles. Plan to spend $5,500 on up. If you're going with a brand like Mitsubishi or Fujitsu, you're probably going to pay a little bit more. Plan on $6,500 up. Anybody that's selling mini split systems for just a couple $1,000s and it's a no-name brand, I would probably say keep the money in your pocket, spend a little bit more. It'll last a long time. These units are super durable. So I hope that helped. Do me a favor, if you like this video, subscribe, check out some of our other reviews. I have reviewed other products like this, so you might find what you're looking for. Thanks for watching.